Sri Lanka and Afghanistan, the two teams who are in the bottom two positions of the Group 1 points table, will clash in this encounter as the team that loses will be the first to get eliminated from Group 1 at the World Cup. The two teams have met each other thrice in the format, as Sri Lanka has won 2 while Afghans have 1 win. Sri Lanka came into this World Cup with a lot of expectations, but everything just started to fall apart for the Lions even before the tournament officially began with the injury of Dilshan Madhushankar. Then after the tournament began, Dushman Chamira had to be removed from the squad with an injury as things went from bad to worse for Sri Lanka with their 2 primary pace bowlers out of the World Cup on Australian conditions. Even when it comes to results, Sri Lanka lost against Namibia to start the tournament. They did make a good comeback after that with 3 wins in a row, but since then, while facing the bigger teams, they have succumbed to the pressure big time. The mistakes they made against the associate nations didn't have too much repercussions, but making the same mistakes against Australia and New Zealand was the ultimate killer blow. The middle order failures in the World Cup, especially the 2 men who carried Sri Lanka to some amazing chases during the Asia Cup, Banu Rajapaksa and Dasun Shanaka, to go with the poor fielding efforts, just sums up Sri Lanka's situation in this tournament. This team set a really high standard, especially in the field, but all of that seems to have just vanished in the space of 1 month. But what the Sri Lankan team needs to realize is they have a world-class lineup, and technically it's still not too late. They have shown glimpses of the champion team they are meant to be, but it's the consistency that's missing from them. For Afghanistan, it's been a while since they played that first encounter against England where they lost. But after that, 2 of their matches got washed out against New Zealand and Ireland. The Afghanistan spin trio will always be threatening in these conditions as they have been playing the Big Bash League down under for some time now and have a lot of experience compared to the Sri Lankan players about playing under these conditions. The Sri Lankan fielding looked completely out of rhythm against New Zealand on Saturday, and some of their efforts were shocking to see as this young side has benchmarked their fielding at a really high level. In Australian conditions with the long dimensions and the extreme call, sometimes at night it's always hard for the fielders, but as a professional set of players who are certainly capable of delivering at a better level, they need to make things right against Afghanistan. They saw themselves how one missed opportunity and a series of unfortunate fielding efforts messed up their chances against the Kiwis even after such a great start with the bowling hand. It's all part of the learning curve for them as this is one of the youngest squads in the tournament, so we can hope the improvement will be there come Tuesday. Padumi Shankar, since returning after the injury he suffered against the Dutch, has really not been the same. We all know how good he is up the order and how important it is for Sri Lanka that he gets going. But after the injury, he seems to be out of rhythm as the normal fluency in his batting seems to be missing, with him going for wild swings rather than being the calm and composed Nishanka we all know. Another huge worry is the batting form of Wanindu Hasaranga, who needs to fire big time in Sri Lanka and needs to have some sort of hope. Along with Hasaranga, the bowling form of Shamil Karunaratne is another issue for the Lankans. Karunaratne has been a key element in Sri Lanka's success during the last year or so, taking wickets at crucial moments, but he seems to have lost his mojo a little bit. If these aspects can improve in the upcoming fixture against Afghanistan, there's a really good chance of Sri Lanka going into that final game against England with some hope of qualifying for the semi-finals. For Afghanistan, the key area of concern will be how they tackle the pace bowlers of Sri Lanka. The extra pace seems to be troubling the Afghan batters a lot, and with Lahiri Kumar and Kasun Rajda in the mix for Sri Lanka, they might have another hard run unless they adapt to the conditions. If the Afghanistan batters can get their act together and produce a formidable performance, it will give their high quality lineup of bowlers an opportunity to take the game deep and even stun Sri Lanka the same way they did during the Asia Cup. Yes, their strength is their bowling, but without the batting aspect coming into play, that strength can be easily neutralized by the opposition.
කාලගුණය කොහොමුණත් රයිනෝ නං වහලට සේෆ් තමයි මුළු ගෙදරම.
After suffering a heavy defeat against the Kiwis, Sri Lanka may very well go with the same playing 11 as this seems to be the best 11 available for Sri Lanka at the moment. As Kasun Rajda, who made his first appearance at this World Cup, bowled really well, he will definitely retain his position. Although Shamil Karunaratne is slightly out of form, he is expected to keep his place in the 11. For Afghanistan, as they have played only one game, it is highly unlikely that they will make any changes. The only one will be a forced change if needed, as Assadullah Sasai, who is suffering from an injury, getting replaced by Darvish Rasuli, with Usman Ghani batting up the order with Rahman Gulbaz. Kusal Mendes needs to fire against the Afghans. With the spin-heavy attack of Afghans posing a remarkable threat, there's no better person than Kusal Mendes to take them on and counter-attack in the same way he did during the Asia Cup. Mendes has always tried to target the best bowler of the opposition from the word go, and if he gets going, then we can certainly expect the same against Afghanistan. If he can attack the Afghanistan spin trio and bat for about 15 overs, it won't matter whether it's a chase or setting up a target. Sri Lanka will be in a really strong position. Along with Mendes, Vayu Kumara is the other player who can make a difference. With his deliveries that easily goes over the 140 mark, he needs to be accurate and produce a similar sort of spell which he bowled against Australia, as the weakness of the Afghan batting lineup is facing extra pace and bouncers, and Kumara has both those areas covered. Rashid Khan, the leg-spinning all-rounder and the newly crowned #1 T20 international bowler in the world, will be the biggest threat for Sri Lanka. If Sri Lanka lets this guy settle in, he can be a menace that causes a lot of issues for the Sri Lankan batters. He has all the experience of playing all around Australia, as he has been a permanent part of the Big Bash franchise Adelaide Strikers for half a decade now. Khan's spell of bowling on Tuesday will most probably give the viewers an idea on where the match is heading to. The weather forecast at Brisbane for Tuesday doesn't seem promising at all. There's a 100% chance of rain on Tuesday according to reports, with a possibility of a thunderstorm in both morning and the afternoon. So washout is on the cards, or most likely a shortened game. But if the rain plays spoil sport here, then it's going to be the end of the campaign for Sri Lanka and Afghanistan both. So the fans from both the countries will expect to see the rain stay away from this encounter and have a full game.